What's going on, people? Machiavelli Mills TV, and it's really sad to see these two individuals bumping heads right now. So, T.I., aka Tip, King of the South, is bumping heads with Boosie right now. Boosie Badass, formerly Lil Boosie. And so, what it stems from is the fact that, Boosie was on Vlad TV. Boosie frequents Vlad TV a lot. He is one of the recurring guests on the show. He's always on the platform, giving his opinion on different topics, so on and so forth. Now, I'm not going to sit here and lie to y'all and act like I don't watch Vlad TV. I do, especially when it's a person in there that I'm really interested to hear their story, hear what they have to say, so on and so forth, because Vlad has an interesting way of getting certain people's stories out. He gets certain guests on his platform that don't come on other platforms, and I'm always interested to hear about, what certain people have to say. Right? I'm a fan of a lot of the interviews on the platform, so I watch the platform a lot. Even though I'm a fan of the platform, I recognize that a lot of times Vlad asks certain questions that can have individuals at turmoil with each other just for the clicks and views, right? And I understand that a YouTube channel, people make YouTube channels to generate mega views, and they keep that machine rolling. But I think if you really care about people or care about a person, you don't want to see them bump heads with each other in certain situations, especially if you care about the culture itself. If you care about hip hop, if you know two men are in cahoots with each other making music, there are certain questions I won't ask. If I was the interviewer, I wouldn't ask that individual to have that person at odds with the person he's supposed to be linked up with and clicked up with or cool with or trying to work on a project with. But Vlad did it Vlad did that in this situation. So Boosie is on Vlad a lot. Vlad asked Boosie in one of the previous interviews, what did he feel about people who were street dudes and they ended up telling on people who died, right? Gangsta Williams, the brother of Brian Williams, aka Birdman, Gangsta Williams got out of jail early due to the fact that he told on some of his dead partners, one of his dead homies, right? One of his guys is deceased, and he put some of them crimes on his boy. And he felt like there was nothing wrong with that. Nobody's going to jail behind me. My partner probably would have wanted me to do something like that. That's how we get down. He said if one of my partners can go free, and we both were street dudes, and I'm no longer here, hey, put it on me so you can go home. You ain't got to sit and rot, and you can just put it on me. Boosie heard that and said he don't care about none of that. Once you cooperate with law enforcement and implicate somebody else, and you don't stand down for what you did, you're a rat. That's how the street rules apply. That's how it goes. It is what it is. No matter who it is, it's wrong. He's a rat, right? Gangsta Williams and Boosie been going back and forth. Gangsta Williams snapping on Boosie or whatever. So since Boosie did that interview, footage of Tip, I believe this is old footage because in the clip, I don't think Tip don't got no dreads or nothing. It's from a few years back when he was growing out the little fro, probably on the quest to grow out his locks. Tip on his platform expeditiously admits that one time, I guess it was some type of gun. He was about to get charged with a gun or something like that, or some situation. And he put it on his dead cousin because his cousin allegedly said he could do that, or he would be okay with that, him doing that. And Tip said he put it on his dead cousin or whatever. So Boosie comes back on Vlad's platform, and Vlad asks him basically, hey, Tip has admittedly said that he's done something that you don't like that Gangsta Williams done. How do you feel about that? In so many words, right? He asks Boosie, how does he feel about that? Your man's Tip, he did what Gangsta Williams did, and you didn't like what Gangsta Williams did. So Tip told on somebody who's deceased. So how do you feel about that? So now it put Boosie in a predicament to where Boosie's image is based off of him being a real stand-up, authentic dude who sticks to his moral compass, to his code, his ethics, no matter what. And it puts him in a situation where he feels like he got to double down on it, and he got to say that Tip would be a rat in that instance too. it puts him in a bind where he feel like he got to double down and say, Tip is a rat if he did that too. If T.I. did that, that's ratting too, right? And then he go, but to Boosie's credit, he tries to clean it up and say, well, you know, to be honest, I don't even think Tip really told. I just think Tip been told. He just was on there talking on his platform. He was just up there talking, just trying to make the conversation flow, so on and so forth, right? I'm paraphrasing, but that's what he's getting to. Because he feel like if that was something that Tip really done, he been around Tip, he been vibing with Tip for years, that would have been came out years ago. Tip would have been said that a long time ago. It would have been just came out. He would have been blurted that out a long time ago if that was something that he really did. He's saying he don't really believe Tip did that. It's something that, you know, Tip would just got on his platform and just talking. But he did say if Tip did that, Tip would be a rat, right? And so after this, T.I. gets wind of this. He gets upset. He tell Boosie, you know, I expected more from you. He tell Boosie to pull up on him and then see so he can see his paperwork for himself. He tell Boosie he should have called him, so on and so forth. And Tip is now heated. He feels some type of way about Boosie, and he feel like that ain't stand up, that ain't official, whatever. I said it to say this, man. I hated to see this because I really wanted to see these two artists collaborate because I'm a fan of both of their music. Everybody that watches my channel know I feel like Tip one of the greatest rappers, lyricists to ever come from the South. Top 3 in my opinion. And I feel like he one of the dopest lyricists to ever grace the rap game. People don't know that Tip is a real lyricist because they listen to stuff like, you can have whatever you like. Yeah, they think that's not Tip at all. Just it's a commercial song he did. I'm a big fan of Boosie. Been listening to Boosie since 2006. Since I heard songs like Zoom and When You Gon' Drop. That was my joint right there. Set It Off and all that. Nonetheless, again, this is a situation where I feel like Vlad could have handled this in a completely different way. See me, I'm a person as a black man. I care about black men's relationship with other black men. I don't want to see black men at odds with each other. I don't want to see people at odds with each other in general. But I don't want to see black men at odds, black men in general. I don't want to see them at odds with each other, especially when these dudes are street dudes, and we know situations can go to the worst, right? These situations can fly off the hinge. It can lead to a whole lot of bullshit happening that you would never want to happen. I'm not going to escalate a situation by asking you something that could put you at odds with your partner, with your homeboy. I'm not going to do that. Regardless of what the fans may want, because a lot of people don't like Tip. They feel like, oh, Tip was a snitch. She was a rat when he got off with them guns or whatever. And if is that the case, I don't know, but I don't believe so. I just believe in certain situations, money talks. A whole lot of money talk, okay? So same way, Lil Wayne got off for that gun charge for 1 year in New York. When New York gun laws are strict as hell, you're doing at least 3 years minimum. Lil Wayne did one. And they would say Wayne only had one gun and Tip had a whole arsenal of guns. Correct, he did. Had a whole arsenal slew of guns. I just think that in a lot of these situations, money talks. A rich person can buy a lawyer and pay his way out of any situation. And these lawyers have a relationship with judges, so on and so forth. And dudes don't go to jail because they got so much money to throw around. Tip was up when he got arrested. He wasn't a struggling artist in the very beginning of his career. He was up, made mega millions worth of dollars. So I feel like he was able to get himself out of this situation with the bread, right? But again, people don't like Tip. So people were trying to tell, they were like, Vlad was showing a flashback of Boosie being against people telling on dead people, saying that they was a rat. And in the comment section, a lot of Vlad's fans was like, well, you got to ask Boosie when he come on. Bring Boosie back on and ask him what he feel about Tip. About T.I. telling on his cousin, his dead cousin. Because Boosie against it. And he doing an album with him. Ask Boosie how he feel. Vlad like, okay, cool. This is going to be good for the channel. Right? And ask Boosie this. And now he got these brothers in turmoil with each other. Clashing. You know, Tip pissed the fuck off. You can hear it. You can see it. He's upset. He ready to snap. He's enraged. He's livid. All right? And you don't know what can come from these type of situations. And I, as a black man, don't want other black men going at war with each other over bullshit, right? This whole street snitching stuff, I'm a civilian. Okay, so my opinion probably does not matter in this situation. But again, if a person is deceased and this person is a street dude, it ain't like I'm smearing the reputation of a clean-cut individual who never been in street politics none his life. If it's a street dude that was committing all type of heinous activity and you put it on your homie to get away, hey, it is what it is. But some people view that as snitch and steal, and Boosie is one of these individuals. Vlad know that, so Vlad want to make him stand on that and still have war and go at his mans, right? Now, Boosie could have said, he could have avoided it and said, you know what? I ain't finna speak on that. I'm going to talk to Tip one-on-one about that. It is what it is. But Boosie feel like his brand is based on authenticity. Him sticking to his moral compass and his code and ethics, and he say, I ain't giving no passes to nobody. I feel how I feel. It is what it is. But then he did try to clean it up with that whole thing. He think Tip was just talking, so on and so forth at the end. But Tip only heard that part about if Tip did that, he a rat. Tip is a rat in this situation. You a rat if you cooperated. Tip heard that part and lost it. But here's Vlad setting the situation up to have these brothers at odds with each other to have clicks for his videos. And then again, I would be a hypocrite to say I don't watch Vlad's YouTube videos and I'm not a fan of the content, because I am. But yeah, man, Vlad got these dudes on here telling their stories and then asking them a question that would have them at odds with each other. Nah, it got them, it could have some bullshit behind it. And in a hip hop world where we've seen men kill each other, have beef with each other, promote violence, especially in today's culture, and even in the past, brothers then got killed in hip hop over some bullshit. We don't need that. And that's where Vlad gets called a culture vulture, because he's not careful within this culture. And there's black people that do what Vlad do too, just for the clicks and views. But in this situation, people will call Vlad that because they like, yo, you don't care enough about the lives of black men and about, black men being in turmoil with each other to not ask that question, to leave that shit alone because you don't want them to be ready to snap and go off and cause bodily harm to each other. Now it's up to those grown men. It's up to those grown men to be grown men and not let this Vlad take them off of their square and with this question and have them ready to just go off the hinge and say things without thinking. But it is what it is. Boosie spoke his mind, and now these brothers could be at odds with each other, and it's hurtful to see that. It's disappointing. Brothers got to be smarter than that. Don't let dudes, Vlad, get how y'all beefing and into it with each other and get tricked out of y'all position. Be better, brothers. That's it. That's all.